Welcome to Inform 'em Live. I'm Tim Washer. We're here with Chris Lilly, principal at Grant Thornton. Chris, thanks for joining us on the show.
Thanks, Tim.
Let me jump right into cloud. Let's talk cloud.
Okay.
You open to talking cloud?
Love to talk cloud.
Okay, that's what I've been told about you. what is where we are right now? What's most exciting about where we are in this moment of time?
I think the cloud has given us the platform that will really enable us to transform. And I kind of think back through the early days of the ERP world. The cloud has given us a good foundation, and it's going to allow us to continuously transform as it evolves. And that's, to me, where the excitement comes in. Once we get the base in, that transformation is what's critical.
Yeah, and that's what Kevin was saying yesterday, excuse me, in the opening keynote, that go live is really the starting point in many ways.
And I'll tell you, Tim, it's interesting, and I know you're an IT guy. I don't think...
Let's not use labels.
I don't think we're ready for the transformation that's going to be required. I think businesses have to turn kind of this upside down in how they're thinking about it. You know, if you think about it, most projects have a start and a stop, and then it transitions to support. Cloud has no stop. Like, the cloud product has to be critical to the business strategy. It's got to be part of the strategic planning process. It's got to be thought of as an enabler for that process. And so it's not support anymore. It's ongoing evolution and transformation of the business using the cloud platform. And I think that's a big lift. That's a mindset change for corporate America.
Can you share with us, even anonymously, a client example where you were most excited about the business outcome?
Well, we're doing one right now.
Okay.
Happens to be a large healthcare entity that was very siloed based. And to their credit, they saw that they weren't going to be successful with their growth strategy, which is they want to continue to grow, bring up new hospitals for the markets that they serve, some of that through net new build, some of that through acquisition. If they did not have an end-to-end process-based foundation to do that, then there would be just too much time bringing others into the system. The more we focus on transformation and change, and the less we focus on the technology aspect of it, and make sure that we trust our vendors. Infor is a very good vendor. They got a phenomenal product. Let's use it.
Right.
Here's what this entity wants to do. Here's what it hopes to achieve: better customer service, better employee engagement, better vendor experience, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And we start to measure it on real return.
Return is one thing to the bottom line, but like you said, the shift to strategy. How often do you think the leadership of the client is really understanding and really quantifying the value they're getting of taking these resources that they now have available to shift toward, let's go grow markets, let's improve customer experience, let's innovate, now that we're freed up here?
Historically, not well.
Okay.
Right? I mean, historically, everybody starts with that objective, and then, as you pointed out earlier, it moves to a technical implementation.
Yeah.
And they don't appreciate the value that can be driven. But if we frame this the right way, if we put the right objectives in place, and if we align it to where the business is trying to go, then I think we drive a change in behavior.
Yeah, because it's so easy to follow that temptation of, wait a minute, this is a tech project, this is IT, you get away from business driving it. Like you said, that was the first thing, that was number one.
Right, so think about this. One, we got to deal with squeaky wheels, right? Because what typically happens is we get the squeaky wheel syndrome, where whoever yells the loudest or whoever's been here the longest says, it's got to be purple. Well, why does it got to be purple? I don't know, it's always been purple. So we got to deal with that. And how do you deal with that? You basically show them what's in it for them in the future and why they need to be part of the journey. And I think that's the cloud experience. We have been very successful with past implementations, right? I mean, but this is an opportunity to really transform the business. And we transform for the enterprise, not the individual. Individual will benefit from it, but at the end of the day, the enterprise is the one that we have to satisfy.
Right. Hey, what got you into this business in the first place?
I came out of school and went to industry for 5 years.
Okay.
Individual that I worked for in industry went to one of our competitors, called me up, and I started working. I've been in this industry now 30 years doing consulting, and I love it. I mean, I love working with the people. I love working with our clients. Infor is unbelievably phenomenal to work with just from a peer partnering. They're willing to listen, they take input, and they react to it. And if you bring them a problem, they'll have a team on it and tell you, here's what we think we can do about it immediately. They're very responsive companies, so they're great to work with.
Yeah. So let me close by asking you, what are you most excited about in the future here, about what's ahead of us?
I think, as I said, I've been doing this 30 years on the consulting side. We've had a lot of success, but those successes are, we've technically enabled something. I think this is the time where we can really transform something, where we can take the business and let them focus on the areas that add the most value or the most accretive to their strategy versus just trying to get transactions from one end to the other.
Chris Lilly,
Yeah.
Grant Thornton, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Tim.
And thank you for tuning in.